Sports Radio 1400 WKAV. Hey, this is the morning show, and it's time I got this guy back on the show because I loved the Rumble and I loved Raw last night, a couple nights ago, I mean. And his name is Richard Gray, and he works for a great website, WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Richard, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Mark, it's great to be back. Doing great.
Well, we're here in February. We just had the Rumble on Sunday night. Let's start with that. When I heard the news, I was like, wait, who won? What just happened? The Mexican Del Rio guy won? Did that really happen, Richard?
Yeah, Alberto Del Rio won the Royal Rumble on Sunday. A lot of people were surprised. I was actually high up on the decision just because he is a future big star in WWE, but that happened. You didn't dream that.
Well, how long has he been in WWE? Like a couple weeks? What's going on here?
Yes, Alberto Del Rio, he is very, very new. Only been with the company for a couple of months. He signed a developmental deal over from Mexico. He was actually a big star in Mexico and signed a developmental deal. And, well, actually, I believe it was a deal to go to the main roster. I don't think it was a developmental contract. And the WWE had big plans for him, just by the way he's gotten over. And the real reason that he was put over as the Royal Rumble winner is that SmackDown, which is WWE's show that airs over on Sci-Fi on Friday nights, their ratings have been extremely high over the past couple weeks, and a lot of that has been attributed to Alberto Del Rio appearing on Monday Night Raw on Mondays and carrying a lot of the audience over. So he is being attributed for increasing the viewership on SmackDown, which is now is why he's getting pushed to the moon.
Well, I know on Raw on Monday night, I know he challenges Edge now because he had the decision, okay, am I going to go against The Miz or Edge? And, yeah, I saw that was going to happen. You could see it. I mean, would you agree that he was going to take on Edge?
Yeah, I kind of figured out. I mean, obviously I have a little bit of a leg up since I cover this for a living, and knowing that The Miz is going to be defending at WrestleMania, they didn't want another heel or bad guy wrestler in there. But, yeah, you kind of feel it, and I really think that's going to be a good program. They have 2 months to build to it.
Yeah, it should be good. We're here on Sports Radio 1400 WKV. Richard Gray is the man behind WrestlingNewsWorld.com. We're talking some wrestling right here on the morning show. And I just want to get your thoughts. Did you like the Royal Rumble with the 40-guy roster now?
I talked about this on Tuesday on my website. I did a video blog over on WrestlingNewsWorld.com, and I really preferred the 30-man format just because I felt like the 40-man, it extended the match to the point where I felt like the fans in the building were beginning to get tired. And at the end, you could tell when it was down to about 5 guys, the crowd wasn't as hot as they normally are. And I really attributed that to being because of the excess match time of 40 men instead of 30.
Well, wasn't the pay-per-view just like the 2 championship matches and then the Rumble? Was that it?
And then they threw in also the Divas championship match, but that was it.
I know maybe our younger audience likes that. I really don't care for the Divas match. Is that okay?
Yeah, I really don't either. The way that WWE promotes their divas now, I don't really think, and I even mentioned this also on Tuesday on my website, that I didn't understand how anyone could be a fan of the divas division in WWE because of based how they push them.
All right, let's switch gears. I know on Monday Night Raw, it's funny what you said you don't like the 40-man. The 7-man Rumble, I thought was great. I like John Morrison. I like what happened at the end. I even actually like Sheamus in the fight. I thought he was finally actually good. I mean, did you like it or not?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was great the night after Royal Rumble to come up with that and the way that it was booked. And, obviously there's a big surprise in Jerry Lawler winning the thing. But the work of John Morrison, he's really shined in the past couple of months just because they have let him use his athleticism, and it's really shown. He did it at Royal Rumble, all those high-risk spots, and, that's real. He could actually fall and mess up the entire match. So the fact that WWE has the confidence to let him do stuff like that, it's pretty awesome.
I also like, Jerry the King Lawler, and I like with Michael Cole. I actually like that dynamic where the play-by-play man is the bad guy. I thought that was kind of cool. I've never seen that before.
They've spent a lot of time building Michael Cole as this big heel persona, bad guy persona on WWE television. And it's really going to lead to something at WrestleMania to do with Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole, which is why Jerry Lawler is going to be on the pay-per-view against The Miz for the title this month.
It's shocking. I mean, is that a full price pay-per-view then? Are people going to pay $50 to see Jerry the King Lawler fight in the main event?
Well, that's true, and I know a lot of people on my website that read it are very upset about it. They don't see Jerry Lawler as the main event competitor, but the reason is WWE has been so thrilled with how Jerry Lawler has gotten over as a good guy, and really they think he's done a better job than a lot of the younger guys getting over to the audience, and they really feel like he's earned it. So that's they went with it. But I agree, it doesn't seem like the big selling point.
The only way you can save it is if they're at WrestleMania and you had Jerry the King Lawler in the title match as well. And then it has to be, I know I'm really stupid when I say this, but I want to see Jim Ross show up and help him at the end to win the title. I think that's the way you end WrestleMania.
Well, I don't think that would happen, or that's going to happen. But, yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to build towards something. I wouldn't be shocked if Michael Cole would cost Jerry Lawler the title based on how they are pushing Cole in this Miz storyline, and then they ended up doing something between Cole and Lawler, and maybe even throw Vince McMahon in there at WrestleMania.
Should be good. WrestlingNewsWorld.com is the website. We're talking here with Richard Gray, some wrestling. And on your site today, you're saying how Chris Jericho is going to come back. What's this? How did you break this news?
Yeah, Chris Jericho, his contract expired with WWE late last year. And basically what happened was Jericho knew that he had a book coming out. He also was going to go on tour with his rock band Fozzy. And so he knew he was going to be taking a couple of months off once his contract expired. Him and his agent approached WWE about a new deal, and they were unable to come to terms immediately. And so it's always been the plan for Jericho to step away from the negotiation table and then come back at the beginning of this year, which he has done, and iron it out now that he's going on tour later this month, all this month actually, to promote his new autobiography. It's a sequel to one he's already done. And it looks like he'll be back in WWE later this year sometime. All
right, I like it. Also, I had a question for you. What's going on with the Nexus, where there's now the core, and then CM Punk shaved his head, now he's a bad guy? Where did this come from? Do you like this?
Well, I mean, I try not to judge an angle too early in the creation of it, just because I think if we always just said we didn't like something before we gave it a fair shot, we'd never like any change. I do feel like it's been a little bit of overkill, but basically I think they'd exhausted all of the options with the Nexus, and they'd blown up as big as it was going to blow up. And then they wanted to keep it going because the Nexus was still selling T-shirts and merchandise. And I think the thing was, it's working over on Raw. Let's put one of them on SmackDown and have this kind of faction going on over there too, and we'll name it the Core. So now they can sell the Core T-shirts, and it really all comes down to money.
That's a good response. I think Wade Barrett can be main event stuff. I don't know, but I like the personality of The Miz. He's still my favorite. Is that wrong? I wanted to ask you that. Is it like, do you get a lot of guys on your website saying they like The Miz, or is it more negative?
They either love him or they hate him. I mean, a lot of people come to me in person and like, I cannot believe that The Miz, because they remember him from MTV, and they say they can't believe that he's a champion. But I mean, I like him. He's worked very, very hard to get where he is today. And, you have to develop new talent in this business. And, I mean, I don't think WWE's done the best job of that, and that's why it's such a transition for so many people when they see Alberto Del Rio is winning the Rumble, The Miz is WWE champion. But, if for those hoping that The Rock or Steve Austin's going to come back and save the day, those days are over, and now they have to work to building new talent.
Well, Richard, I'll just tell you, I actually like this new angle of the brand that we're getting to now. I think it's on the upturn again, where I don't know what your opinion is, but I kind of feel like sometimes wrestling's down, then it gets good again, then it gets bad, then it gets good. I think with these guys that are coming out, how big Randy Orton is now, and how people like The Edge, and I think like it's going to become really, really popular again with popular culture. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think that's been the history of the business. I mean, you can watch it. It's just like a wave. It's either up or down. And, it kind of has leveled off in the past couple of years. But I agree. It seems like it's coming back on the upturn. WWE, their business has been a little bit off. And I know we're going to find out a lot more about that later this month when WWE announces their Q4 earnings. But I do really think that the business is on its way back. And really, I thought it was going to happen in 2010, it really seemed like it was just about on the cusp of happening again, and it was delayed a little bit. But I agree with you. I think that we are closer to another wrestling boom than we are far away from it.
All right, Richard, I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to let you go. I got more stuff to do. But, yeah, I appreciate you coming on. The website's WrestlingNewsWorld.com. You do a great job. Check out the website. I got to listen to your podcast on the Royal Rumble as well. I'm going to do that later today. But, hey, Richard, have a good day, and we'll get you back on another time.
All right, Mark, thanks for having me on, and appreciate it.